admin in the middle of the arrest. I mean, I feel like I would remember that. I've seen hand bond around somewhere, maybe the theater or something. I'm not sure. I do recall that name. I've definitely seen him somewhere. I don't remember arresting anybody and calling admin in the middle of it. I'm not sure as far as that goes. Especially, I mean, that just seems wild. For one, sir, sorry. And then secondly, I typically, if I arrest someone, you'll see, or maybe if you ask around, there was an incident where, sorry, sir, there was an incident where I'd actually arrested somebody at HP and, or not, sorry, not at HP, during a 1080. And I had realized, I just checked through, make sure everything's good before proceeding, and I ended up actually getting shot at by a civilian, so there was a little bit of chaos in the mix. I drove a couple of blocks, and I'm scrolling through my macros. I see I never read him his rights, and I let him out of the vehicle and released him because I had made a mistake. So I feel like if I'd made some type of mistake, maybe they're referring to a different officer, maybe, and they got the names wrong, sir. But I certainly do not remember arresting somebody, doing something incorrectly, and then calling an admin because of it. No, sir, not to my current knowledge. I don't know, especially if you mean directed, like, I mean, maybe I've said like the S word out of just saying something whatnot, but I've never thrown explicits at any citizen, let alone someone that I'm arresting, sir. Well, in HP, I will typically drop the leave the HP when you are done healing macro, and then I'll drop the green zone macro. And then on top of that, I will typically walk around and discuss with people that their guns need to be put away or that they need to leave the building. I will not typically just jump to arrest somebody, especially because of the chaos that goes on at the HP. There's a lot of people yelling, a lot of music playing sometimes, a lot of misunderstandings happen there. So I do my best to, if anything, detain the individual, which has probably been 90% of my interactions at the HP is detaining somebody, bringing them somewhere that I can speak to them and actually understand them and they can understand me. And then I'll ask them, things like, why is your gun out? Okay, and sometimes I'll get like, well, I have my CCW, and I thought that I could carry it, and did you hear me telling you to put it away? No, I couldn't hear anything in there. Things like that, and I try to tell them, that I'm dropping macros and this and that. But they're focused on you in front of them. They're not focused on the chat so much. So when I do get somebody that's explaining things like that, I will typically just release them. I don't say, okay, well, you are under arrest because, I know you couldn't hear me or this or that, and I just tase them and arrest them. That's typically never the case. I'm not sure if that's ever been the case, especially at HP, because I understand the risks for confusion. But yeah, like I said, I will typically detain people, explain to them what they're doing wrong, and I'll release them if there was some type of misunderstanding or miscommunication or some area where they couldn't understand what I was saying. So to say that, that possibly somebody had been, not have macros dropped to begin with, and then to say that they were just, tased and arrested quickly doesn't typically fit my profile for HP. I wouldn't think that that would be something that I would do at any point. But I would certainly be interested in scrolling through some body cam footage, depending on when that was, because I do try to upload whatever the incidences are throughout the day and the following day, and I'll go ahead and clean out that storage and make room for the next couple days. Um, but I would definitely be interested to try to see where that might have happened. If there's a timeline for that I could try to go look back on. 2 days ago, okay. I will definitely look for some footage on that. Like I said, I definitely cannot recall doing that. I know that a lot of people, when I do arrest them, there's some disliking towards the cops in general. And someone like Frank Sankow, who is has expressed a lot of hate for me just because of the fact that he was a cadet, and there's a lot of insubordination and doing things that he shouldn't be doing, that inevitably led to his release via charges. So I know things like that. And I'm not saying by any means that it's just a false complaint, but that's where I would lean because I do not recall any of these events that you're describing. I'm a captain, and as far as department, I'm in the cadet task force right now. Or do you mean police departments? I'm sorry, I don't know if that was. Yes, sir. Yeah, I'm in CTF at the moment, sir. Yeah. Awesome. Thank you so much, sir, and I do appreciate hearing those things from you. Yes, sir, and sorry for taking up your time.